All right, we open up in the bodega, a bright sunny day in whatever city our favorite fangirl is at, and she picks up the
Salt Lake City,
last.
Utah.
Yeah, sure, why not? There are bodegas in Salt Lake City. I don't know, hopefully. If not, it's truly a godless place.
Like Salt Lake City, Utah. Alright, I'll stop now.
But we kind of just see the cover of it, and we it's just typically we see you guys all on this kind of like lakefront, kind of like dock, and you're just like looking up at this kind of like horde of like werebirds coming down like at you. We open it up to the hopefully last issue of this arc as you guys are sitting there in the mansion. It is 9 o'clock. It is 9 o'clock and I gotta find my... There we go. It is 9 o'clock on June the 25th. The air is hot and muggy. Storm clouds are starting to gather. We just see our good friend the bait just sit. Mr. Swainson. There we go. Forgot his name for a quick second. We see Mr. Swainson just sit like drinking like whiskey out of a shot glass in the middle of his house. And as you guys are kind of like just sitting out, are you guys already in your positions, or are you just sitting out like by the front door?
I'll leave that decision up to somebody more important.
I mean, I didn't really succeed all that well in scoping out the place to find a position, so...
Well, if everybody's getting in position, whatever the best like archer tower or sniper tower, Eddie is 100% in there.
So you're basically what you are sitting on top of, Eddie, is just the roof of the house. There's kind of like a ladder off to the side of the house that you climbed up.
Rock'n'Roller would do some last sound checks. Wire the explosives up to the music.
And wait, I'm sorry, what was that?
I do sound checks and wire up the sound system to the explosives.
Yeah, so you're kind of like completing that last trick. If you want to, you can do a superior or freak to do it.
Oh, cool. Let's do that. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
Alright, so it's all good. All the wires are hooked up to everything. You got kind of like this audible trigger on all your mines and explosives. Just in case you personally need to unleash them.
Nice.
And it's starting to sound good. You're kind of like strumming it a little bit. And before like that second moves on, we go back and we see what Bastion is doing.
I already told the group that I was going to focus on trying to find her while they do the defensive, so I'm just focusing on trying to, like, catch her using the ley lines.
So we look over at just Bastion, and like his probably the brightest thing out in the forest right now. As the house is all knocked out, all the lights are dead. We just see pyrotechnic barrels, mounds everywhere. And as you kind of hear like rock and rollers strum one last time, we hear just this screeching coming from the skies. And at that point, you can feel something different in just the air around you, Bastion. Like someone's like digging into like the atmosphere and clawing at it.
Yeah, I can't remember our conversations because it was 2 weeks ago. But oh fucking, what was her name? Nyoma?
In Sangoma.
Nzengoma. I was close. Said something about like her. Was it stopping or like something with the ley lines where it was like different from how we used it, and it would like alert us to where she was. Can I start working towards trying to find her through that?
Yep. Roll freak. And you get a basic direction of just northeast. And as you start doing that, we kind of like, there's just Eddie, you hear the squall in the sky, and you look up and there's these humongous werebirds. Like just this kind of like, you know how geese have that kind of like organization to them?
Blind formation.
Yeah, like those flying formations. Stomp.
Oh, I didn't realize my mic was muted. Might be. But yeah, so there's just like essentially just like a goose V of is it geese that fly in the
There's
V?
free geese V's.
Oh
God.
boy. Well,
Monsters.
Eddie's immediately gonna knock an arrow, and anybody in earshot is gonna hear. I can't scream this because I'm in a house with people, but he's going to scream, "Here they come!"
Damn it, Al. Need to get the live stream up. The most important.
Yeah, so, and as we see Facebook Live just and Twitch engage on, like, the kind of, like, we see, like, the panel, like, have this kind of, like, phone camera thing to it, and that kind of, like, starts up from, like, these many different angles on Rock and Roller's stage. And we see with just Bastion start stalking into the woods. And Eddie, if you want to roll danger.
Ooh, that's a bad roll for my boy Eddie. Alright, oh wait, no, that's actually... Yeah, that's a bad roll for my boy Eddie. That's a miss, what that is.
And your arrow misses, and then they start their dive bombing.
Ooh, boy.
As all of them kind of like go into like these kind of just dives, and then we see their beaks open, and just lasers start bursting out of them. Would anybody like to do any actions?
I would.
Traveler or Rock and Roller?
You want to go first? I need to think of a song I would play.
So there's dive bombing at all of us.
There's
Basically.
an obvious answer here.
Yeah.
You know exactly what it is.
And there's lasers going out and shooting from them.
Yeah, I'm gonna
one
DM you.
continuous beam.
Yeah, I want to open up like a portal in front of the laser and have it reopen
Lasers?
on the side. Well, a group of them and open up behind them, basically blasting themselves with themselves.
All right, roll danger. What option do you want to take?
I will surprise them.
All right, so we see you just start like kind of like get up into the trees again, and you kind of just open up your hands like wide quickly, and then we see like a circle of beams just about to like hit Eddie, and you redirect, and then you open it up behind them, and then that like strikes out one of them from like just one of the werebirds just gets obliterated by the barrage of lasers, and they still continue down as the others are starting to dig into the trees. Kel, would you like to do it? I mean, Rock and Roller, would you like to do anything?
Yeah, let's go with it twice. I would gonna play Dragon Force Fury of the Storm and start my concert by shooting some lightning up to the bird formations.
Okay, roll directly engage as well.
Nice.
And if you want to use Superior for the audience watching on your live streams, go for it.
Oh yeah, because I put on a flamboyant display. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finally on it, boys. All right, we see just these twin, these 4 bolts of lightning emanate from each of your guitar strings. It's 4, right?
I think so. I'm not that knowledgeable about guitars.
They strike up from the tip of the guitar and up into the sky as you just leash another 2 of them out of the sky. The razors then come down and what options are you taking for directly engage?
Take frighten, dismay my enemies, and avoid the attack, I guess.
Okay.
Avoid the blow. It's been a while.
Alright. 20. Okay. So, kind of we see just the lasers kind of go wide of you as they are now just avoiding you, and one kind of just peels away and crashes badly into the ground as it just panics from your attack. In Traveler's position in the treetops, one of the beams kind of strikes you through the bushes as they're now as the main the center one. There's they went down in this kind of arrow formation. The center one got kind of torn apart by got broken apart by you and Rock and Roller. But the other 2 are now just splitting wide. One of them kind of taking what would be your right side, Traveler of the House, as it just lasers into the ground, and a good chunk of the eastern minefield just gets shredded, and then the other side just starts aiming at you. Can you roll to take a powerful blow as beams come down at you? Alright, what option are you taking?
I think giving ground right now makes the most sense.
Alright, so you kind of just, as you kind of see the trees, you just startle a bit, and then you kind of swing from the tree, and the lasers kind of just destroy it and kind of are starting to set fire to where you were at as you're kind of just running back towards the house. Now that so now they'll kind of the one bird from the main wing has just kind of joined up with the side wing on the left, and it's kind of they're turning around. Actually no, the one bird from the center is not going to join another wing. It's going to actually just pop down by you, Eddie, and it's going to just leap at you.
Well, I know what I'm rolling.
You are technically under fire by laser beams.
Yeah, I was about to say, hey, could I roll Suck It Domitition?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Heck yeah, in before Nat 2. Oh, fuck.
What 2 options are you taking?
Let me grab that. We'll look up. Well, I'm going to go directly engage, directly engage, yeah. Resistor, avoid their blows, and frighten the opposition.
Okay. So we just see Eddie just startle you, kind of roll out of the way of the beams as they kind of dig into the house, and you use that 2 seconds of them starting to die away, and then you quickly weave at least 2 arrows into its fires, and as it's just kind of putting its hands around one of the flies, you just put one in its eye, like one arrow in its eye.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's an Eddie thing to do.
As it was startled by the arrows in your thighs, and we kind of see the other two birds of the wing kind of like who were going to like charge at you. Also, just kind of like pick up, and they'll join the wing that is on more towards Traveler.
Oh boy, that
So
worked.
you have a wing of 9 and a wing of 7 left.
Nice.
By the way, I'm kind of GM point. I'm kind of just giving the bird to masks just so I can play it as I want to narratively. This might not be popular to some folks, but it's how I'm going to do this.
Okay.
Any case, Rock and Roller or Traveler. It is either of your guys' turns.
Well, guess time to fire up some fireworks at these guys during one of my many solos, guitar solos.
Homie's playing Dragon Force. He's just playing an 8-minute guitar solo.
Pretty much. It's just a barrage of firework conundrums.
Dragon
Shooting at
Force
them.
plays a 10-minute song. They play a 15-minute guitar solo.
Like in the good old days.
Roll with that
Alright.
superior again.
Nice. Avoid the blows and once again dismay and frighten those people.
Alright, so once again, more like lightning with kind of like tiny like dragon heads snip at the birds, and another one kind of like goes like falling into like the patio beside you, and like another two like try to like just dive bomb and stick their beaks through you before you kind of like take another strum, and like these kind of like bouncing betties pull out of the ground. Like, but they're not really bouncing betties, they're just like, they're like really, you had to like put like this is where this car suspension went
Yeah.
with just 20 different cherry bombs on them.
Pretty much.
That's
And
an
it just-
Eddie.
And he just swam up where it's in this kind of like wall of explosives, and we just see the two birds' heads just disappear.
I'm also pretty sure the patio was wired up with the most explosives for some reason. It's just a giant fireball emerging from it.
Yeah, and we see like more like kind of like the first showing of pyrotechnics from your in your set. And like we see the live stream chat going ooh ah, and one asshole goes about time, and then they get kicked.
Damn.
And so we then get into Traveler. Traveler, what are you doing? You got a group of 9 that are kind of like hawking after you as you're kind of like running around the house.
All right. Is there any minefield that I can see that's not?
You're
that's
running
flooded?
in it.
Oh, great. That's great. So what I want to do is I stop and I open a portal over a pretty decent chunk of the minefield and lower it down with the other end, dropping this newly loosened earthen bombs over the ones coming after me.
Roll directly engage. Awesome. What 2 options are you taking?
I'm gonna avoid their blows, and they were all flying still.
No?
I'm gonna avoid their blows, and then they're all flying still.
What option you choosing? I'll dig that. Yeah, they're flying while we the bombs at them.
All right, I'd like to take the flight from as many of them as I can, like damage their wings or something like that.
All right, yeah. So what you kind of do is you drop all these kind of like loosened bombs just like a couple of seconds in front of them, and like you hit their wings, and then they just like kind of like start dropping. There's a good 3 of them that you kind of like missed and like you're pre-timing, but there's just another like just like 2 of them just get blown apart. The other ones kind of like dip down. One of them tries to like land, like 2 of the ones that recently joined it try to like hit on the ground and charge you. They walk just straight into the minefield, losing limbs.
That's what I'm talking about.
And as you're kind of just like, and then like another one just kind of like manages to see like the mounds and the other like couple. There's 6 and 9, 10, 4. Yeah, the other 2 kind of like dig into the dirt, like kind of like just claw their, like they just dig into the trees as they kind of like land on it, kind of just like waiting for an opportunity just to like get to you as the 3 kind of like peel away and up into the sky.
Yeah, and then I just keep
And
moving.
yeah, and so you just start running, and now they're just hopping from tree to tree after you, using their powerful muscles. And as you kind of, can you roll me a superior? And Eddie, you can roll a superior too if you're just kind of like keeping a lookout.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm not gonna. Oh wait, no, I've got a 2 in superior. I might actually do something here. No. Oh, that's
All right.
second potential, is what that is.
So as we kind of like skip away to the scene to where Bastion's going, we kind of just see these slow crawling vines start to approach the estate. And there's also like just some, like the lake is starting to be disturbed by more than just sound waves.
Can I generate burn?
Yeah, as you kind of just moving through the forest, you can definitely generate burn. Hold free, take a condition.
Alright. Okay, so I have a. I'm trying to understand. Like, so to get her exact position, would I have to use overcharge, or would elemental awareness also be fine?
To find her,
Yeah.
elemental awareness would work. I'm pretty sure. Let's look.
Yeah, because it says you can ask the GM any question about the world, which you said that she'd be exactly where that ley line would be disrupted. So my
Yep.
question would be exactly where that is. And I guess I just want to use 2 flares back to back and use elemental awareness and move.
Go right ahead and mark those 2 down as you kind of like ask where this way line is, basically, right?
Yep.
And as we kind of just you like dig into the earth, and then you can clearly see where this woman is just taking like stuff from.
Hmm.
And as you're kind of like you're starting in, as you kind of like feel the ley line, and like you just see where it's like a broken railroad that got disconnected at a point. So what would be kind of like electrifying is now just gone. And you just start running after it. You kind of like go for the trees, and then you can see like the foliage is starting to get heavier and heavier. as you go through it, and eventually it just starts becoming this kind of like living mass around you. And it moves to kind of like strike at you with like trees whipping out branches, vines with like excessive amounts of thorns starting to like try and like going to grab at your limbs. What do you do?
Well, doesn't part of move inherently kind of stop them? Because it says it breaks through or slips past any barriers or restraints in my way.
Yeah, move would do that. So you use the.
I'm using a move to like literally be where that point is. I'm trying to make sure she has no opportunities to like reposition herself.
And we just so we just see you kind of like at a Borderlands 1 with the siren, kind of just like a burst of fire, just like burns what it like immolates anything that's just within 5 feet of you, and you just dash forward, just burning everything and like leaving this kind of like hellish wake in your path. And we just start seeing like this line from the sky, just like this line of fire, just starting to ignite in the middle of in the forest. This one isn't spreading though. It's not like the lasers, strangely, but it's still a light nonetheless, and it shows. And even though it's not like spreading, it's staying alive for some crazy reason. And we kind of just see her, you see her like what you expect to be, like you see what you recognize in this kind of weird, what's the word? You see her and like you see what the person in the motel was. And then you also see someone with this kind of like, she's covered in moss and just there's this layer of dirt that's kind of like weirdly caked on to her. And then there's also this second being just kind of like standing around her as like a guardian of some sort. And this second one kind of like takes like up this humongous two-handed like staff with like a morning star head at the end of it, and it's made of like this like weird, like if metal could become like gnarled oak with just spikes at the end of it. And she she turns towards you, and and the old woman rises, and we see this image in front of you. You see this image in front of you, Bastion. And so one kind of just like the one with the mace, it like speaks to you and goes, "Who dares disturb the witch of Arcadia?"
Yeah, smirks and says, "I guess I don't have to worry about misidentifying you then." And like straightens up and says, "Son of Apollo, also the one who's going to kind of the way he's like thinking for a moment. He's like, destroy you utterly? I don't know what rock and roller would actually put for his more flashier statements of how he eviscerates somebody."
Rock you out of existence.
Yeah.
We might introduce you to the concept with your corpse.
He kind of his expression grows more cold as he like subdues his powers and says, takes a deep breath and says, "Father of the god who watches over me, Jupiter, hear my words. The being before me has committed crimes against the hegemony." Yeah, that's the word. She is engaged and threatened a disciple of your son. She has taking some of your possessions and used it as if they were her own. And even worse, she has undone a punishment given by a god. As a conduit, I would like to deliver your message to her and to all who dare provoke the gods, the consequences their actions will bring. And I want to use my moment of truth to directly connect for a moment with Jupiter's power source.
And so, as you kind of like call upon this prayer, we see the thunderstorms kind of like coalesce and gather. As we see this kind of like, and it starts thundering above you, and we kind of see this being on this kind of stone, kind of like, I forget where a judge sits, but it's there. A pulpit. And it looks down on the three of you as she's kind of just like twirling, as the one who spoke is just twirling their mace and the other one is chanting. And as you just feel this humongous amount of energy just release into your body, and it's jangling you, and you're like clattering your teeth against one another. And in your mind and in everyone in that area, even in the kind of, like, we see Mr. Swainson just kind of like get up out of his seat and look out his window at the storm. And from it, we hear this. As in ancient times it shall be now, the punishment for defying gods is death. And would you like to describe the rest of your moment of truth?
Yep. He's going to like immediately like shoot out and like grab her, and for the other two figures, they look and they're already gone. For him, they don't matter. The message is more important, and he kind of remembers passing by a lake when they were when he was heading over, and goes back there remembering to keep her away from dirt, and shoves her head under the water and says, for a frog in the well, your death means nothing. It only is a message for those who we truly cannot stand their provoking. And he takes a deep breath and tries to let out all the energy that he's been given in like one clear blow, and the light, like all the electricity in the city goes out for a brief moment as a large, gigantic bolt slowly comes down from the sky, both due to the magnitude of it and due to the fact that this is an attack that is purposefully provoking attention. This is not something that anyone can avoid seeing, as it coalesces into a giant finger that just presses down on the witch and squashes her like a bug. And as both her and the lake she used to inhabit are eviscerated by this discharge of energy, right in front of like the crater, there is infused in lightning the signature of the Calamity, as Bastion then immediately collapses from overexertion of his entire body for trying to hold the energy of a god for even the briefest of seconds.
And to you guys back there, as we kind of just leave, Bastion doesn't hear this, but there's this last just horrifying scream as we just hear this a soul that's lived far more longer than its life should have gone on just burst. And the clouds just kind of like thunder a couple of times before just disperse, and like rain just starts to fall.
Damn, like I say.
And we kind of like, you guys are like, the birds are still going out of you, but even then they have like paused for like a good minute. And we kind of just see Mr. Swainson looking half like amazed, half horrified, and then just like he's just staring out like his heart just stopped. And just what seems to be from the mansion, this kind of like little twinkling of a lantern, we kind of just see like the appearance of Apollo look at look at Bastion's form, and he kind of just like leans you up against a tree, like looks at the kind of like the sign of the calamity, this stylized sea with all these kind of like different kind of like ruptures in it around in a circle, and he just kind of like nods appreciatively and just kind of like puts a blanket around you as the rain is starting to fall, and just sits next to you and go, "Damn fine work, Sam. Damn fine work." And then we just flip back to the mansion. The rain is starting to combat the fire around you.
Man, Sam, that was metal as fuck, I say. Just stand there awestruck. Are the birds still there?
Yeah, what's left of them. You can basically count some 10 of them.
Alright, yeah. Alright, guys, time to play you out. And I start playing High Voltage by AC/DC.
Yep, roll as you kind of start just striking out at like another 4 of them, leashing them in their chests as you kind of like bring them out of their stupor. The other 6 are just kind of like just starting to try and run. Eddie, what would you like to do?
Well, Eddie's just kind of quiet for a minute after all that happens. And then the sound of AC/DC brings him back into reality as something that he actually recognizes. And so there are only about 10 of them left?
6 now.
Oh, 6. Wait, let me open up my bag of war crimes to remember what I actually have.
Explosive arrows.
Oh yeah, the tetanus arrow was up first. So yeah, Eddie's gonna just straight up fire the tetanus arrow at somebody.
Okay. You take
fire the tetanus arrow at a thing. Oh, that's a full hit. So
yeah, you take the tetanus arrow, the one you kind of like sort of failed on.
Yeah.
And you take one of them, and it kind of just, the werebird kind of just strikes into the lake, and you just see bubbling, and then it stops.
Can't believe Eddie fucking killed a man. Man's only been here like a day. He's already got a kill.
And we, Traveler, free or left flying.
As they're flying, I want to open a portal in front of them. There's a lake, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, open a
They're now
portal.
starting to get above the lake.
Yeah, open a portal in front of them, and it opens up directly, sending them smashing down into the lake.
Alright, you can roll Danger or Freak. Alright, I'll say you get like another 2.
Cool.
as they kind of just, we see like their bodies kind of like contort as they just swam into the lake surface and then go under it as well. Strangely though, these guys don't leave bubbles. And then one's starting to get altitude. As Eddie, you're ready to just knock another arrow. And we kind of just see Mr. Swainson kind of like taking like a bird feather scratching from behind his neck. And he just kind of like flings it in its direction. And like the feather just like shoots. Like goes from like 0 to Mach in like the blink of an eye. As it just wedges itself in like it's like the back of its neck. Where you think its spine would probably be, and it just also just cripples immediately and just slams into the lake. And he kind of just like he gives off that like audible sigh, and he kind of just like raises his eyebrows and just like rubs the back of his neck as he kind of just walks back and like starts like kind of like turns on some lights and then pours himself like another like glass of whiskey from his decanter. And we kind of just see like the scene kind of like just kind of like fold up on the mansion as you guys are just kind of like left to your actions, and like we kind of just see in the city Bruja is just kind of like having a pipe of just something, and she kind of blows it out and she sees the lightning off in the distance, and her eyes widen as she also sees the figure, and every like the entire city hears the scream, and she just kind of goes, "Holy shit!" And she like kind of just like my tongue And her eyes just kind of like, she like chuckles a tiny bit, then kind of just like stares back at the clouds and wide-eyed and just kind of like sits at like kind of like the edge of the building she's kind of like dangling her like legs from. Would you guys like to do anything? The three of you that are still conscious?
Looking for Sam, I guess? Disarming explosives.
I was 100% going to go look for Sam after that.
Okay, then I think Rock'n'Roll is going to have to disarm explosives first before he can leave.
I missed what you said. That what did you text him or text her?
Yeah, last session I did remember that I promised you I would text the location of where she was so that you guys could get me in case things went sideways.
Oh, okay, that's right. But yeah, I hadn't been there yet, so I couldn't teleport there. So
you guys at least know where to go.
Right.
Yeah, there's a big burning calamity sign.
Oh yeah, dog.
Burned into the face of the land.
Can't wait for you to appreciate that tasteful signature.
You know, that's what I also tried to do when I tried to blow up the Aztec building. But no.
This was Bastion's clear statement of the one and only time he would do a robbery.
But yeah, so I meet up with the other two, and we should probably go check on Bastion. I know his location.
And so you guys kind of like, you first start out from, as we see Rock and Roller just kind of like strum a couple of times to disarm like the triggers and whatever, and the minefield goes in there as you guys are kind of like rushing together as a team through the woods. You follow the fire, and then you kind of like notice in the sign there's just this kind of like glowing in a corner. And as you kind of just follow it, you just see you see Bastion and the burning, like, this kind of like burning signature of the calamity, and like next to Bastion, like as he kind of like has this sort of like half poncho, half blanket surrounded on him, like to his side, is just this, besides his skin glowing, is another kind of glow, and you kind of like lift it up, and you kind of see that you see this golden wire like right next and up against Bastion's body.
It looks like he found his instrument for the band.
Man, this just rocks.
Like just a quiet what the fuck from Eddie.
Lean down to Sam, like poke him. Sam? Sam, are you still with us? Or was it like your last concert?
I eventually wake up, or am I?
Yeah, you kind of just like it takes a couple of pokes. You check your pulse, and yeah, he's still got blood running.
Oh my god.
Literally everything sword don't poke me like that. Oh god.
Amazing.
Yeah, you know,
Kudos.
you're like, you get up in the morning, you're like, I can totally throw an attack that is meant for a god. I mean, I'm close enough. And then you go to sleep and you're like, incorrect. He's just like groaning, and he kind of sits up. He's like, wow, like parts of my body could be are screaming right now.
You also smell a little bit bad.
What I tell you was pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
It was amazing, sir. And Traveler, despite her like kind of subdued voice or whatever, is looking kind of starstruck again, like when she first met you. Because in her head, she's just like, the history books are right about him.
Fair one-time deal. He kind of looks at the flaming like lightning signature. I'm pretty sure we'd get in trouble if I did that more than once.
Fuck, we should do that every time.
He kind of looks at you like, dude, what?
Yeah.
That was like, I don't think I could pull up that much power again. And, he kind of grabs the hand he had used for the attack, and like, you can hear like a distant rumbling, but that's about it. And he's like, lightning's a very, very, very hard element to use.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I can do it by just stringing a few strings on my guitar, but if you say so.
That's a little bit different from divine lightning.
Well, guess you still don't understand rock and roll, right, Sam?
He just rolls his eyes.
But anyway, good job, man. This you rock, man. This was amazing.
You can roll comfort and support with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. And it's great finishing a mission and only having one condition. That's so rare. He kind of looks to the rest of you. Did you guys? I suppose you guys suppressed all the other creatures. Any damage to the house?
Nothing too dramatic.
He kind of like sighs in relief that it came from you. Like, nothing too dramatic from rock and roller could mean that there's only half of the mansion left.
Well, I still have to disarm most of the explosives I put on it, but otherwise it's still standing.
Yes, you know what? I was going to use the word "let's do that," but how about you do that, and I find somewhere that isn't the dirt to sleep for like at least 3 hours.
How about a nice cozy like hospital bed?
I'm sick and tired of the running gag in the Illuminati about me being in a damn hospital bed. I can sleep in my own bed.
Okay. Can someone get like Sam back home? My scooter's over there.
Yes.
I don't
We can
I don't
get
have
him
a
home.
car that works.
I can
No,
get
you
him
don't
easily.
have a car.
Thanks, Traveler.
Yeah, I know where he lives. I live like the room over next to him, like in the same house. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
And we kind of just see like fire engines and like one truck from like Live and Let Live started showing up towards the mansion.
Oh damn! No, now I really have to like speed up, and they shouldn't run into the explosives. All right, take care, Sam. See ya.
Yeah, we can talk about the concert tomorrow.
Fuck yeah. You better be good and upgoing, man, for that.
Kind of like looks at the instrument. And he's like, "Huh? What the?" And he's like, "Yeah, totally." And he kind of like looks at it and he's like, "When did this?"
And yeah, you kind of just look at this ornate, gorgeous, kind of like golden wire. And even though you're like, how the hell would I play this? You kind of like, your fingers kind of like reach and you just strum a tiny bit of it. And it sounds like angels singing.
beautiful. Some music, sir.
Holy shit! Like I was like trying to play like a scale that was.
Perhaps with
I need to thank him when I had the opportunity.
perhaps with this, you and Rock and Roller can make beautiful music together.
Yeah. He nods. Still kind of like in a half is about what he was given.
And so we kind of just see like Eddie just kind of like, what is Eddie's thoughts? Like, what is.
So, Eddie's just like fucking. He's acting like a normal human being right now. Just he's got that like smile of just this is fine, but it is very clear in his eyes that this is not fine. He's not going to get used to this. Actually, yes, he is, but he is not. He was a little bit more used to this because this time he wasn't almost dying every 5 seconds. But he's still a little confused.
That's fine, man.
Yeah.
You wanted, wait, listen, before you go, you wanted to port Bastion back home?
Yeah,
Okay.
I figured I'd open up a portal and kind of walk him through and have it opened up directly straight into his room.
Yeah, so you do that.
Then at that point, I'd probably, like, after he's good to go, head out and clean myself up and everything in the shower and all that in the house. Then I'll be back in a few.
And Eddie, you are left by your fucking self as the two just leave you without saying a word. Great job, guys.
Well, Eddie just kind of like left in the middle of all this. Dead birds all around.
Nah, actually, just some fire, and we kind of see this one kind of like emergency operator hero. He's kind of like, he's got like kind of like got like these kind of like small openings on his hands as he kind of just walks towards you and go, "You okay, kid?"
Wait, what? Sorry, I got a message.
We kind of see this hero with kind of like openings on his hands and like these kind of like goggles as he kind of just steps towards you like through the like kind of like staying away from the fire, and he's kind of like foam is just starting to spew from his hands and goes, "You okay?"
Eddie just kind of slowly gives a thumbs up. There's a little bit of a shake, and he says, "I think I'm good."
You got $1 on you?
Why?
Just want to know if you have $1 on you.
I don't. Maybe.
You kind of just nods at that and just forget it. Ain't a vending machine in my house. Maybe one in that rich guy's home, but I ain't dealing with that. And he kind of just looks to the sigil and go, so, I guess you guys have a sigil now?
I guess. I've only been on this team for like a day.
Technically be 5, but sure.
I've only been in this team for like a week.
Well, it's not the worst group.
It's a little much.
When you get into our work, it does get a bit much, doesn't it? At least the stuff you see on the news. This should get more than 5 minutes thinking about it. And we kind of just see news vans kind of like start to like pull up, and he goes, "God damn!"
Oh, do not put Eddie in front of a camera, and by that I mean put Eddie in front of a camera.
Goddamn scavengers! And he looks to you and he goes, "Are you PR?"
Wait, does he say is Eddie PR?
Yeah.
And Eddie is just very clearly shaking his head.
Alright. And he kind of just starts like, he like looks to this, kind of like this, the symbol, and kind of just shakes his head at it, and then just starts like foaming around it, like kind of like now smoke is starting to come from his fingers, and he goes, "You better start hopping off in a direction."
Roller scooter.
You got about 10 seconds before they swarm you.
Oh boy.
Flee with the scooter.
And if I'm looking at your aerobag correctly, you might get arrested.
Fuck, Eddie's gone. Eddie's running.
And we kind of just see the guy smile and go, "Alright." And he just kind of also rubs the back of his neck as he just follows you. As you just start running back to Rock and Roller. And we just see these news vans kind of like get held up at like a brick wall and fence with kind of like spikes on the top of them that wasn't there when you guys got here and were here for the past couple of days.
I'm starting to play Diamond Dogs by David Bowie for the cleanup crew and the PR.
Ooh, Diamond Dog.
Yeah. Instead of answering questions of the press, I just start playing for them and hopefully make them dance. I don't want to answer some question about explosives. Put it on my safe house.
They're just bobbing their heads as also like kind of like the cleanup crew and like firefighters are just around the house. And we kind of just see Mr. Swainson also just take another like sip from his glass. And he looks to you too and he goes, "Damn fine work." Magnificent, actually. And this is coming from the other side of the aisle. Not that kind of not their aisle, but just another aisle from you.
Mm.
A lot of aisles these days. It's like a supermarket.
Can I roll time for the show?
Yeah.
To impress the press?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. On a 10 plus, name 2 NPCs present. Named NPCs must either volunteer to help for information, express admiration, or ask for your help. I guess like someone of the news I wanna impress and like make them admire me. And one of the what are their names? The Let Live, the what are they called? The superpowered cleanup crew?
Live and Let Live is the super powered support company
and
or organization.
I also want them to admire me. So both sides, the press and the cleanup crew.
So we kind of see the guy with like the kind of like holes in his hands, kind of like walk up and go, and he like hops the like kind of like quickly like air bursts from his fingers, so he jumps over the fence and he just sees you and goes, "Okay, guys, just." And he kind of like looks at the mounds, kind of like kicks off the dirt lightly with like his shoe, sees the package waiting for him, and he looks to you and go, and like he looks at the kind of like the corpses all around and like bits and goes, "Do I want to know?"
Not really. I mean, there's so many explosives here. Most of them not even legal, so I would appreciate if you don't ask too much.
He kind of just nods at that and goes, "I'm gonna leave that part of clean up to you if that's alright."
Yeah, but everyone
Means I get to go home sooner.
Cool. Yeah, I will totally do that.
Sick.
Oh wait, I'm coming over there and then like stage dive and let the crowd carry me over to him.
Oh yeah, there's a couple with people that just kind of like slide you down towards him.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Eddie, stuck here.
Yeah, Eddie, you're just now like over the fence, kind of just sitting down and watching this.
Yo,
Wait,
Eddie.
I got a good picture.
Eddie, come over here.
No.
But the press, they need to know your name, man.
No.
Come on.
No.
It'll be fun.
No.
And they kind of like we just see these couple of cameras start panning over the fence.
They just see oh no, they see the
like,
hobo
news-
archer.
Yeah, they see the hobo archer, and you kind of like you just like your instincts kind of like start making you crawl, and you just bump into like Rock and Roller and the other guy.
Oh no.
Like around you, and he kind of looks to Rock and Roller and it says, "You got $1 on you?"
Oh, yeah. And I show him the Illuminati
You do not do that. Remember,
Wait, but they're from Let Live.
we
Live and
said
Let Live?
we promised we wouldn't. Bastion told you not to let the kid know about us.
Oh, okay. Then I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Then just pull out a regular dollar.
But Bodkid is not supposed to be aware of this yet.
And he kind of just smiles and goes, "Okay."
Wait, that was the Illuminati dollar?
No, it's a regular dollar though. On Rock and Roller's dollar, there's probably a picture of Shaman Mao on it. I don't know.
Oh.
For some reason. It's a long story.
And he kind of just like gives you an eyebrow to you and Eddie and goes, "Okay." And then he goes, "All right, you want to deal with?" And he kind of like this like cute blonde newscaster like kind of like walks up and goes, Rock and Roller, are you known as Junior or just Rock and Roller?"
Rock and Roll Jr. since Senior is still around, and well, he definitely deserves the admiration more than me. But yeah, I'm also one of the Rock and Roll.
And she kind of goes, She kind of just looks at it across the wall. "I'd love to have an interview about like what happened tonight. A humongous outage went out in the city, but you were putting on a live stream by where the storm happened."
Well, yeah, I mean, usually I'm responsible for most like catastrophic events in Halcyon City, but this time it wasn't me. At least not just me. It was my band, the Calamity. I mean, superhero team, the Calamity. Like, give them a thumbs up into the camera.
Eddie this entire time has his hands up and he's just shaking them like no. No.
We defeated an evil, wild nature goddess of Greek mythology. Most of my band, my front singer, Bastion, did the most of the job. I was just here to entertain the crowd mostly. But yeah, I guess we saved the city once again. And it's all thanks to my fans, and I like put my face into one of the other cameras. Like,
Yeah, you kind of just jump up, grab like a news drone, kind of like that's buzzing
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
and you like put your face against it, and you kind of like push, like kind of like just chuck it away for a quick second, like a basketball.
yeah. Absolutely.
It goes wild as always, aren't you, Junior?
I wouldn't be a rock and roller if I wouldn't be.
And they kind of like smile, and they kind of like there's just camera shots at like you and like Eddie just kind of being like just smiling awkwardly,
Yeah.
trying to like hide behind you.
By the way, this is our newest member here, Bodkid. And
And he visibly jumps.
yeah, I I drag you.
No, 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 no.
Shut up.
And they go, Bodkid. That's a nice play on words.
I know, right?
And she kind of like looks at your outfit and go, bit of a homegrown superhero, aren't you?
Eddie is visibly sweating, and he just gives a nod as he tries to get out of the spotlight.
Eddie is I don't let you. I hold you in my iron grip. Eddie is a real street-grown superhero. Like shows that superheroes they don't have to be like on top of everything. They can be from the mean streets where society don't always looks. But
An audible gulp.
heroism, everyone is able to do heroism. Not just a big chest. He's a real indie title, Bodkid.
He goes, your terminology is fanciful as ever, and well, that's channel 28 News with Rock and Roller and the new Bodkid.
Oh, watch
Out on
out
the
for the
scene.
Funko Pop series coming out soon. The third installment at this
Eddie
point.
looks like he wants to fucking melt right now.
And I throw some
There you
Funko
go.
Pop.
We'll get you more information now. Back to you, Hanson.
Yeah, and before they switch over, I throw a handful of Funko Pops into the camera. That's-
Yeah, we just see like these like tons of boxes, just like kind of like we swipe over to the like kind of like the news offices, and at this point they just have like every bit of furniture is made out of like Funko Pop boxes. And just like the one guy across from him, they're sitting across from each other, and he goes, "So when are we gonna get power back?" And he goes, "I don't know, but I want to know how the Yankees are doing." And then the one guy just goes, "Yeah, I'm wondering how they're," and it goes, "Whoop!" And then like we kind of just see like his like seat just kind of like dematerialize as you summon it.
Nice.
And they just kind of, and they're just, and he just drops to the ground and goes, "So does this mean I get an office chair again?" And the other guy just goes, "Hopefully, my man. Hopefully." And he just goes, "I'm gonna bring out the forms again." And he kind of like opens up the drawer, which just has, which is made out of like hollowed out Funko Pops. Like Funko Pop boxes from you. And he just brings out this new stack of papers, and he just starts like looking, like filing through it, and then we get back to you, and then at the news, and we kind of just like pan upwards from like this kind of like small horde of newscasters, just kind of like taking photos of you two, and it goes into the night, and it is now June 26, and Bastion, you wake up, still kind of sore, still kind of feeling like it's singed.
He kind of just gets up and kind of just stretches, and he's like, "All right, well, I guess it's time to go to work." And he just stumbles out of his room to get the shop ready.
And as you kind of like exit, I'm sorry for that. I forgot to mute. As you kind of step out, you see Apollo just sitting there with like already an espresso in his hand.
I
And he
like
just,
edit. He's like, you better damn well have not bought that from a competitor.
I made it.
I can agree to that one. He kind of walks up to him.
I know how to make a good cup. Actually, I know how to make the best one.
Oh, now there's a total look of like, yeah, sure you can.
And he kind of like looks at you, kind of like you as you stare incredulously back at him, and he kind of just like raises his eyebrows twice. And he goes, "You'll have three visitors, 4 free visitors today, but including me."
Fair enough. Honestly, I'm surprised it's that little.
Oh, I meant people of note.
He nods.
Your cafe is going to be flooded. Front of it in about 4 hours with paparazzi. I recommend lowering the window curtains. There we go. I forgot the word curtains for a second.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna make so much money today.
Oh yeah. In any case, they're going to be asking you for tips and whatever. You can tell them whatever. I don't care. You got. Just wanted to say, beautiful work the other day.
He gives like a half smile and says, "I'm glad you approve. I wasn't sure how you'd feel about me asking one of the big three to help out, but that felt like the most efficient way of dealing with the problem."
Well, they can be pretty complex, let's just say. If any of them, in your case, you chose correctly with the current situation. Poseidon would have been a close second, and Pluto maybe would have wanted her after her escaping his grasp for so long. It's not every day that something from the past actually gets to be in the past.
Yeah. Also, I imagine, making my presence known to them might be good in the coming fights, as it seems like we might be dealing with the birds a lot from here on out as a team.
There we go, 4. Dealing with 4 people today. That's why. God
Or
damn.
Brian's like, is one of them coming to talk to me today?
5. Fuck.
This number keeps going up, man.
Listen, it's prophecy. I have to wind through about a couple 100,000 souls every day, answering their questions in the best way I can, and then I get it constantly, like every single choice and consequence and what could be goes through my head.
Yeah, I'm just pulling your chain, man. I understand how taxing being in a leadership position can be.
It's not even leadership, it's just knowing. And just sifting through what you know is the what I gotta do. Any case, how do you like it?
What?
The Liar.
It's amazing. I'm not entirely sure I deserve an instrument of this high quality.
I'm the god of music. It can work.
Thank you.
You know, the last person to be in your shoes literally was Orpheus.
Ooh.
That's a long time.
I didn't choose for a long time. I sat, I waited. I was going to choose a couple of times, but then I knew what would happen, and then I decided that wouldn't be good for the greater good. And I sat, and I waited. Meanwhile, everyone else made champions every now and then. Minus minus Mars. Mars always preferred to get his hands dirty. If a job's worth doing, why not do it yourself is his motto.
And you decided while eating a hot dog, I was the one.
Struck me. 4-year-old with a hot dog was gonna turn out alright. Funky cap on his head, boom, slap it on him.
He's still like rubbing his head. Like that moment has had completely deflated all the majesty and like mystery around gods for him. So like even thinking about it now, it's like one of those things where it's like it's hard to feel special, chosen, or enlightened. Where you're like when the guy who picked you was like, yeah, I was like eating a hot dog, and I looked at him, I was like, hey, that's a winner. And it's it's just like, while enjoying the mustard that was currently on my hot dog, it's just like it's hard to.
But I don't know, just it struck me. You were the long run. Finally. Someone who wasn't just going to see, like, look down at their feet and that was all. You could look forward and around and you were going to be aware of things. Like you were aware of beings able to give you power that wasn't going to be just me. Of course, you needed to primarily be me since you are my chosen, but you're able to think out of the box, and that is way more than a couple can say for theirs. Especially Pluto's, but
Pluto has a champion? I haven't heard about them in any of the hero circles, really.
Yeah, because no one wants to talk about them. Or no one's going to talk about them, considering you have someone doing PR for you that can put it in a good light. Where we're in the center of the storm half the time. The ugliest bits. Because we need to be. And sometimes we can cause the ugliest of bits. Because we need to. But that's neither here or there. You have 4 more visitors. The next one's going to be pleasurable. The horde outside is going to be noisy.
Fair enough.
And maybe your team will come by. I don't know. I didn't look for that.
No, it's now like, well, I thought some of those visitors were going to be my team, but I guess I'm incorrect. I'm curious as to like, who is this like apparently like endless sliding door of new figures are going to be, because he's like, I can only think of like one person that I know of that would actually come, and that's Bruja, and the rest are just like, I don't know who the fuck would come.
And so, at this point, Traveler, you're up.
Traveler! What do you mean, what? The hell are you drinking? Oh, it's a sin. Oh, God, it hurts. He kind of like grips his ears. I can't believe you're drinking iced. Oh, God, it looks disgusting. And you bought it from Starbucks. Oh, the insults don't end. Just, you know what? I'm gonna.
Oh, they were around, son.
They were the worst.
They were some of the most. They were one of the few that freaking made it as one of the subsidiaries. You would have known them as celestial credit.
Fuck God. Oh, I can't even find words to that one. He's just like, they take my business and sell garbage quality coffee. It's like 90% sure. I guess you wouldn't understand that since you don't have much of a palate yet, because you like everything. I'll let you drink that one time, but never buy from that store again. Yeah, usually he would correct that behavior. To this moment, he does not. He's like, damn straight. Goes back to like, where he's like, so how was did you see any of the public response to what happened yesterday? I haven't really checked yet since it's been mostly sleeping on my end.
Oh yeah, you would have seen it in like newspaper articles like about the outage yesterday, and then a concert in the woods, and then fire, and then people talking about a god or a being in the clouds.
He nods and says, "Good, good. It wouldn't do for my declaration of war against like most villains to not be noticed by the populace."
We're going to war, sir.
Of a sorts. I think both our group and people who see our group don't take us seriously enough. And he kind of pauses and thinks. I want someday for our name to deter crime and villainy, and to do that, we need to be something that they are scared of. Now, this is my first step towards that. I kind of like relaxes and he kind of thinks to himself and he's like, yeah, pleasurable, Paul. I had to watch someone drink fucking garbage water. What part of this is pleasurable? He's like still peeved about Starbucks. Literally, even Bruja's hipster shit was better than this.
Could Ian also appear? Like one of the ghosts on Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear Ian's scooter rolling up. Yo guys,
Hey,
feeling better?
yeah, pretty much back to normal. I needed everything needed to cool down.
Yeah, man. I mean, would like to say it like as a sane person as well, but that was amazing what you did there.
Yeah, nods and says it really humbles a being to see just how powerful some of the gods were. That wasn't even like a fraction of a fraction.
Well, luckily left enough of you like to like work at the coffee store today.
Oh yeah, man, it would totally suck if I wasn't able to work when the flood of press is gonna come. I'm gonna
Oh.
make so much money.
Oh, okay, but if it gets too much, just give me a call and maybe Rockroller can distract them a little bit.
Yeah, he nods and says, thanks. Do you know when you want to start practicing? It turns out that lyre I have is nothing short of absolutely amazing.
Ian gets like big puppy eyes. Dude, every time you want.
And he's like, well, I don't know if. Apparently, I still have like 4 more visits from people. Apollo was not hyper specific, but once I'm done with them, if I'm not like drowning in press for the rest of today, we can work on it today. If not, then tomorrow.
Cool, yeah. I gotta call up Joey then.
He nods and says, make sure to do it before 8. I think that's when he starts his like motorcycle patrol nonsense. God, riding motorcycles at night. He kind of shit.
God, he's so cool.
I was just like, he's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Alright, see you soon, man.
He nods and waves him off as he heads out again.
And so we kind of just see Rock and Ian just kind of like shuffle out the door, and like the first wave of paparazzi come by, and Traveler, you're just kind of sitting there, and you're kind of like marveling at how the history books actually got him right as the man with like kind of like a mission.
Yeah, pretty starstruck.
And you're kind of just almost tripping over your legs as you kind of like weave through the door, and then from we kind of see the paparazzi show up, and then kind of like you hear this clatter behind you. You hear this clatter behind you in the shop. Bastion has behind you. Bruja comes up from behind.
He kind of like jumps a bit when someone's just behind him. He's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Don't say. And she's just walking out the door, and she kind of just sprints over to the windows and curtains, just like crawls on, like just hurriedly, just like crushes them like down.
Don't do that when like the person who has teleporting powers just left and my guard was down. He kind of takes a breath.
Goes, well, my guard's gotta be up now because. She just kind of just sighs and like kind of looks out the window and goes, "I can use a cup."
Yeah, he starts like working to make some. He's like, "You're in trouble."
You know what she did? Declaring like that. I'm not in trouble. I'm just. Everything is now under scrutiny. Something you shook them up. And now they're wondering what their next move is going to be. They're now thinking about their next move again, instead of just being left to their own devices. And now like all like whatever I had as kind of just this, I don't know, freelance kind of deal. They're now analyzing any kind of prospect.
He's like, well, sounds like a good opportunity to, maybe cut loose from them. There's better ways to get power.
Do you want to roll provoke?
Sure. Hey, finally got a good on a superior roll.
And she kind of like, after you say that, she's like opens her mouth, kind of like holds it again, like just sits there for a second and go, if that would happen, I'm going to need some serious protection. Because I know I have knowledge. You don't just break away from that kind of thing and then just be expected to get away cleanly.
He kind of like,
If,
well,
boy wonder, if, and you can see that there's legitimately fear in her eyes.
tries to relax, and he's like, if that were to happen, you already know someone who is willing to protect you. He kind of smiles at her.
Roll comfort and support now.
Man, we're just dancing on a whole bunch of different ones. Oh, at least it's a 7.
And she kind of looks at you as she says that and goes, she kind of just nods at that and kind of just like rubs her shoulder, actually kind of like letting down the whole cool and like composed nature that you thought was just her like backbone. And she just scratches the, like, kind of just like pulls at her hair, like sifting through it with her fingers, as I kind of look up the rules. Wait, where is it? Where is it? I can't hear you. Okay. And they go, well, at least that person is cute, I guess. And she kind of just sifts through and goes, well, boy wonder, think this place can stand up to the power of ages?
I mean, yes. Yes, 100%. But
Sounding.
I guess I was a little thrown off. I was expecting, more of your people to be who you pissed off, not Aegis.
What? Ages? The time of ages.
Oh,
like
ages.
time, ages.
I was like,
no, not ages. Ages.
I was thrown for like a real loop. I was like, wait, what?
Hard G, not soft.
Yeah. Oh, and then he says without a doubt, yes.
All right. She kind of just like looks through and then just I'll have to see you again after I figure out how to run.
Keep in touch, all right? Keep
oh yeah.
He kind of like rolls his eyes.
Yeah.
And here's your coffee.
She goes, and she kind of like looks at it and sips at it, kind of like nervously, like she's like on, like she's now like slightly like she's now gets more relaxed and goes. And here I thought I would not have to be, that I wouldn't have to be, like, there's, she just kind of, like, sits at the cup and goes, walked up to them because I saw one of them one time just with no fear in their eyes, like nothing. Like she was unstoppable as she kind of like, funny you say ages because she was just stopping this raid one time from, I don't know what, I just didn't see it, but she was stopping this raid and just walked through bullets like nothing. Like she was a ghost or something and she just piled through them. And I thought to myself, I wanted to be like that. I wanted to have no fear. And I walk in this morning to my, I guess you could say, supervisor. And I see it in her eyes. Fear. And that's when I knew it was eventually going to come back.
Yeah. Thanks for a moment. He says,
So
wow.
it's back to running again.
I won't promise that you will be without fear. Honestly, I think it's easy to forget why fear is a good thing. It stops us from becoming arrogant and reminds us that there's always someone stronger. He kind of makes a small gesture to himself, like, you know, kind of reminding the situation that he was just in of destroying the Witch of Arcadia, who was very much a frog in the well, thought she was hot shit, and then got destroyed almost instantly. He's like, what makes you strong against that is it's not power, it's people. Having ones you can stand behind and stand beside against what you're running from. And at the very least, no matter what comes down as a result of me protecting you, I won't ever leave you alone to run.
She kind of just stares into her cup and says strong words, and she kind of like comes off the stool from the counter, kind of like walks over to you, pecks in the cheek, and then says, I gotta run for hopefully one of the last couple of times looking at you. And then she goes, you'll hear from me super soon.
He nods.
And we kind of just see her just kind of like disappear again as she kind of like moves her hand up forward, like making a cut in the air, as we kind of just see her own portal open like that as she just stretches it and then steps into it. And from there, Bastion, you're kind of just left alone with your thoughts and that kind of like feeling. And as you kind of like are serving paparazzi, asking for like what happened the other day, do you tell them anything?
Yeah, I mean, I answer their questions. He's trying to gather attention for his group anyways, so he does charge them, like, he's like, you know what, dude, you buy a cup of coffee, I'll answer any questions you have, and he just does that for every single reporter. He's like, same thing, says his mission statement, admits he was the one that did the attack, like, just keeps shuttling them by. He doesn't really fully go into, like, the members of the Calamity, because one, you didn't know that Rock and Roller did that, and two, he doesn't want to like draw like fucking endless attention on Bodkid.
What?
Don't worry. So yeah, I can't think of a question he wouldn't just like say the answer for.
All right, and so you make bank off of that as one guy just pays for all of it, and he goes, "I better not hear anything from you guys' papers unless you pay for it too." And then they all kind of like groan and go like, "Come on, man, solidarity between honor between thieves." And he goes, "No, this guy's going legit. So maybe for once in your lives, you should actually be upstanding citizens and work by the contract he gave us." And he goes, "Dude, I saw you bribe a child last week for what he saw Animal Kingdom do." And he goes, "Shush, you. At least I don't work for a fucking tabloid."
She just chills and watches this as he's like waiting for the next customer.
And yeah, they all just kind of like show up and they go like they're just like shelling out cash and go, "I heard it from the other guy. I'll just want to say anything different for the people of the Halcyon City Herald."
Yeah, he shakes his head and he says, "Can't really twist the truth."
Everyone's got their own truth, but I guess yours is the truth of the day, huh? And you said you killed a woman who, by all legal measures, doesn't exist except on a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, Mythol, when you start getting into divine territory, that's just kind of what happens.
He shakes his head in disbelief and goes, "Fucking Halcyon," and he kind of just like flops down his notepad. And they all kind of like sit through the door, and then after them, you see Mr. Swainson. Actually, no, you don't see Mr. Swainson. You see this pelican just walk into the door.
A familiar pelican or
just a pelican?
I'm assuming you're one of the associates that work with the Blue Jay? I don't know. It's kind of weird with you all.
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah, we all be dangerous. And we all going to be up in your grill. Soon. The arena is going to be Halcyon City, we've decided.
What did he say?
The arena is going to be Halcyon City, we decided.
He shrugs and says,
"Finite mortal, you must understand the terms and conditions of the tournament."
He kind of just stares and says, "I don't answer to you. I answer to my God. So the rules he gives me are the ones I care about. Don't think you're in a position superior to mine."
I sit here as what might be an equal on your little blot in history. And he kind of lifts up his wing and then his feathers ruffles it a couple of seconds and then takes this scroll out and go, "This is the document. This is a copy of the document signed by your master and the current, let's just say, trifecta at the time of my It's so hard to describe what you are when you are just anarchy and desires.
Turns out your command structure is convoluted, and he kind of just takes this scroll and looks at it.
Because structure is cancer. Let us say visionaries.
Yeah, and I'll say hypocrites, and he just kind of he's like reading the rules, making sure that his master signed on it, and seeing what the hell this tournament is about.
It's got Jupiters, it's got Apollos, it got Poseidon, it's got 4 different bird prints on it.
Tournament arc? Oh my god.
And from it, we kind of just see all of these kind of listings of the challenger will choose the tournament arena, upon which the challenger city, if the challenger wins, will replace the city of the defending and also cede their society to the challenger. This can only be thrown, however, every once 1,000 years, and will not be plotted against in dog years, bird years, cat years, but of the reigning defendant's years. And the construction of time thereby passed on those who reign on Earth, and not by pre-constructions of any other sort of society that you had maybe whimsically come up with in the last 30 seconds. Any and all combat rules have been accepted. Non-lethal, surrender, fight to the death, third blood, first blood, any weapon may be used except for the fact of that any kind of people who are not of the challenger or of the defendant, as seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, tenths, or 20ths, may not be harmed. And you're looking through and you're sifting all of this, and this is hyper-specific. And while material collateral damage will probably be astronomical, loss of life is actually written against. And after you're reading, and after you read this, you just stare at the pelican and he's just eyeing you, has just one side of his face towards you.
And does it state anything that the challenger has to give the champion if the champion wins? What is the cost for doing this?
And he kind of looks, and you look to him and he goes, humiliation, admitting we're wrong for another 1,000 years, not doing anything subversive for 1,000 years. We can watch, we can observe, we can plan, we can scheme, but we cannot interfere, we cannot act on the world for 1,000 years.
He kind of blinks and he's like, wow, so little. You guys are pretty shameless, but yeah, that's fine.
And that's only people who are mostly within the social circles of us. You have been in contact with a rebel who, if you gave it to us, we would definitely give you a handicap in the future challenge. For 1, not abiding by these rules. 2, being a traitorous scumbag. 3, just absolutely sucks at being a good sport.
Yeah, nods and says, well, that's for me to contemplate and you to see the results of that contemplation. So, anything else, or you're going to fly off and do whatever your collective not collective does.
By that be a paradox? Yes. I hope you enjoy chaos and bird droppings. As he says as he kind of just waddles out through the door.
Fucking tool. Kind of goes back to work, like cleaning up the area and like counting his money.
As you think that, we kind of see that from a combined thought bubble.
Yeah.
And as you're just wiping the counter, and the next person comes in is actually one of the bigwigs from the department chair meeting, and it's Conquistador. And he takes his kind of like Australian Hunter Dundee hat off at the door and puts it on the coat hanger. And he kind of like says, I need your full report and we need to chat somewhere super private.
No, it's
And we cut from there to like Eddie, like an hour ago, that's just waking up.
Oh boy, it's me.
And you're kind of just like rubbing your eyes. It's like it's actually we'll go a couple hours more than just an hour ago. It's like 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And then you wake up to your mother like making dinner. I mean, like, and she's just watching the news as she's like eating like pancakes.
Eddie like slowly rolls out of bed. Right before he like puts his feet on the ground, he checks where he's about to step to make sure he doesn't step on like servo or anything, and then he just gets up and tries to get out, tries to go out into the world. And by the world, I mean just his rest of his apartment. Man wants his food.
So before you kind of like stomp out into the world again, you kind of look and there's your interview on the television screen.
Oh boy. Eddie's face is immediately like fucking red.
And she's just kind of eating and goes, hey honey, nice to see you.
Yeah, Eddie's keeping his head down. He's like half mumbling. He's just like, hi.
Oh, man. Cute boy on the screen, huh? Looks kind of familiar.
I don't see any resemblance. I don't recognize him.
Can't place where. Think he goes to your school?
No, I don't recognize him at all.
Maybe
There's visible sweat coming off of Eddie's forehead right now.
maybe at like one of the Christmas services we went to.
I don't know. I think you might be mistaken. You might have seen him on the news, or you might have seen him on the news before or something.
But they just said this is his debut.
Maybe he's. I don't know. Maybe he was in. I don't know.
She kind of looks at you and goes, so, and she kind of like silences the TV as she like, this is Jenna, and like she kind of like silences it at that point. She goes, the other person's like way too loud. Reminds me of like 20 years ago at Woods. Any case, and she like kind of like puts her arms on the couch and just watches you and goes, everything all right?
Yeah.
She kind of goes, boys your age have problems that only a parent can comprehend and try to relate to.
No, I just I was doing something in my room and it literally blew up in my face.
And then you're saying this as you kind of like get a plate of scrambled eggs and a couple pancakes and you're just starting to work at it.
Because it was another turret I was trying to do, and I wired something wrong, and there's just a lot of smoke really fast.
We're gonna have to get you into an engineering college, hon, whenever you get to that point in life.
I love that, but right now it's hard to make. I just want to make whatever I can.
So she kind of like looks and goes, "Well, if you ever need anything to talk about, I'll be here for you."
Boy, you're trying to get that fucking moment where Eddie straight up says, "Yes, I am Bodkid." You're fishing for that. And you're gonna get it. Don't worry. But yeah, Eddie just kind of like between bites, he just says, "Franks."
And you kind of like go out into the street and what is Eddie going to do today?
Honestly, he's probably gonna try to hunt down one of his teammates and like just fucking talk, like figure out what the fuck all of this shit is.
So as you're kind of like going down the street, you kind of like see Traveler. And after a couple hours, you're kind of like sitting in a park, just kind of like looking at like statues and whatever, and then you see Traveler with like Starbucks in her hand.
Oh boy, Eddie 100% doesn't remember her name. I'm sorry, but he is 100% gonna run up to her and be like, "Hey, you're
Yeah,
Voyager
Traveler.
Travel. What's your actual like human name?"
Camilla.
Camila. Yeah. Can I talk to you for a little bit?
Of course.
If it's not like a like semi-private area, Eddie's gonna try to like start walking and kind of leading them off into, like, if they're just on the street and there are a bunch of people, he's gonna try to take it to a slightly less populated area, and then he's gonna be like, "So, are you getting disconnected? Hello?
Yeah,
Hi.
I can hear.
Hold on, wait. I'm getting a lot of lag. Hold on. Hello?
Hello?
Alright, yeah.
Hi.
I was seeing like the lights come up and everything, but I wasn't hearing anything. Alright, so. Alright, what was I saying?
Last thing was we kind of went to a little semi-private area, and then you said so.
Yeah, so he's like, "So, I'm not used to any of this hero stuff."
You did well from what I've seen. I mean, this was my first mission as well, so at least here.
Like, what do you mean here?
My new to the city.
Okay, were you active somewhere else?
It was a different time. It was harsher.
Where were you? Like, Compton? What?
She kind of sighs and just kind of figures you have to tell everybody eventually anyway, so why not? I'm from a different time.
From different time as in what?
The future.
Eddie like raises an eyebrow and is like the future, or
Hundreds of years the future, yes. I've only been here for a few days, maybe a week now.
Eddie's eyes just kind of go blank for a second, and there's just a, okay. You know, when you he's kind of like a little bit wavy, and he's like, when you tell somebody something like that, you usually like ask them to sit down first, because anyway.
I'll keep that in mind. I'm not Different customs.
I'm really not used to this level of hero stuff. And I'm by far the weakest person on the team.
Powers don't make a hero. You're
I
clearly
don't
skilled. You held your own.
barely.
You survived in one piece. All you'll do is improve.
I only survived in one piece because Rock and Roller was essentially babysitting me the entire time.
Give me 1 second. Well, he may have been looking out for you, but you still had to have some moves and abilities to get by.
I don't have anything. Camilla? What was it?
Camilla.
Yeah, Camilla, I don't have anything like that.
Didn't you create all of the artillery and the weapons and the mines?
Yeah, but that's not the same as
I don't know if you
being
saw.
from the future or being literally chosen by a god or being Rock and Roller.
It's not the same, but
I'm
it
not.
still serves a
I don't
purpose.
think
I don't know if you
I feel like I
noticed,
shouldn't be here,
with all of that going
especially
on.
if this is the first mission. I don't know if I can do the other missions.
Well, I know it would have been much more difficult without your involvement.
But like, if this was the first mission, how hard are the rest of them going to be?
There's no way of knowing. I mean, first, second, third, they don't inherently get more difficult in order, potentially. You never know what the next one may be. Could be something simple.
Simple to me, before this, was stopping a purse snatching.
I understand, but I didn't you want to be a big time hero?
Yes. I don't know if I'm supposed to be.
Well, it's ultimately your choice. I've learned the future is changeable. So if such a thing as destiny exists, it must be as an outside force. Then it must be limited to very few individuals because entire timelines have been changed. So your future is not written. So ultimately, it is your choice if you want to live your dreams, regardless of the strangeness, or if you want to give up now because things got a little weird or a lot weird. It is your choice.
I just don't want anybody to get hurt because they need to protect.
Would you be willing to throw yourself in front of something to save one of us?
That's what a hero does.
For then why would you not expect us to do the same?
Eddie's like quiet for a minute.
None of us want to get hurt saving anyone, because we don't want our friends and allies to get hurt. But that's what we do. We look out for each other.
There's another like minute or two of silence, and he's just, yeah, yeah, you're right.
And with your ingenuity, I would rather have you be on our team. I don't know if you saw with everything going on, but your landmines helped me take out a lot quickly.
I was up in the attic trying not to get stabbed to death for most of that.
I don't know how things would have gone if I hadn't been able to use them, which wouldn't have happened if you weren't part of the team.
You can roll comfort and support.
Joke's on you. Eddie doesn't have any fucking conditions, I think.
I'm gonna fail.
Do it. That's a
Yeah, get that free potential.
What's a failed comfort and support? I can't remember what that does.
You can take influence over the person.
Oh boy. I don't think Eddie is gonna take influence over her.
You can do that. They can mark a condition, or
Oh, that's on
I
a
forget
hit.
what-
I don't see
Oh
anything
no,
on
he
a
said a
miss.
fail.
no, they mark.
On a failed comforted support, like nothing happens.
Yeah, it doesn't say
Oh,
anything
alright.
negative for a miss.
Alright.
It's just something like that the GM and the kind of like the core rulebook kind of like suggest.
Alright.
So I'm literally if you don't want to take influence over her, then nothing bad happens.
Yeah, I'm not gonna influence. There's no
Then
reason to. There's
it
no
just
thematic
passes.
reason to. Yeah. So like, Eddie's just gonna kind of be like, yeah. Thanks.
So-
I'm not. What?
That kind of just passes on, and
Yeah.
we just see kind of like Eddie just like hold like his hands in his pockets underneath the kind of like roaring sun above Halcyon. And we swap over to where Ian currently is.
I don't know. I mean, would Sam like call for help if the paparazzi get too much? At one point.
Well, thankfully it didn't happen because they just gave me money and mostly just took the first guy's answers and dipped. So it wasn't really much of an issue.
Yeah.
They're not used to getting what they want.
God damn it! What would I guess go to his mentor then to the record store and ask what he thinks of yesterday.
Yeah, so you head to good old Bronze. And he's just sitting there in the record shop, just kind of like looking at the TV screen, which is also on the news at this point. He's looking up, and he goes, "Oh, hi, Ian." And he's just looking at it.
Did you like my Bowie reference?
I mean, that was great, but I was looking more at the and he kind of like they just show like the thunder like going out in like the sky, and he goes, "That."
Oh, that was Sam.
Sam's got world-ending jams to him.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same we can do, right?
When we get into a band of other rock and rollers, yeah. And that's the theoretical. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's only foretold in dark prophecies.
You mean the Rockin' prophecies?
Yeah, you made me read them all.
Of course I did, because you had to know all the stuff, but just because they're dark doesn't mean they ain't cool.
Definitely. I mean, what's wrong with Sam? I mean, it's pretty cool what he can do, right?
No, I'm not saying it wasn't cool, I'm astounded.
Yeah. Oh, he wants to play music with me in the garage.
Take him up on that.
Yeah, he has a sweet new instrument.
And he kind of like looks at you and go, holy crud, what?
Oh, it's that like old ass guitar that like the old Greeks had. I think the last one who had it was called Orpheus or something.
He goes, he's got a lyre?
Yeah, like the last guy who had it like went to the underworld, what was pretty metal.
That's supremely metal. And he did it for his and for the love of his life.
Probably, yeah.
Damn.
But I also had pretty good ratings on yesterday's stream.
No, I was watching. I was listening, man. I saw you pull out like the bag of tricks and all those kind of like thunderbolts and going and like, and he kind of like does the whole air guitar for a second business, pulls out a real one, follows the chords perfectly, and goes, it was insane.
Yeah, I guess I start gaining traction.
How could you not with our kind of music? That kind of.
I'm just worried that you know who is now looking at me too, and we both kind of like look awkwardly into the TV, and probably there's like a interview of Lady Xanadu right now.
Yeah, let her come at us.
Yeah, and she's kind of like mid interview, just like staring at us, like knowingly, and we also stare at her knowingly.
He gives off a middle finger, and she just winks.
Yeah. Oh man, she's so creepy. One day I have to face her.
Well, with friends like these.
I know, but still, like those are big footprints to fill out, you know.
I wouldn't be.
And Golden Age and Silver Age, like God bless them.
But like Bronze Age and Silver Age, we each filled the predecessor's shoes to the T. Because we had the music like you do. And all you gotta do is just dig in your heels and let no one else shout you down, man.
Yeah, that's easy to say, and I think Rock and Roller would believe you, but Ian over here, Ian was a little bit unsure about all of this.
Rock and Roller is Ian. There would be no rock without Ian down inside.
Yeah, but
you might.
Rock and Roller is quite a psychopath at the current state. Just saying.
But Ian keeps him in check. Ian keeps him what Lady Xanadu isn't. Ian keeps rock and roll human.
Yeah, but Rock and Roller also wanted to steal a car and call it the Rock and Roll Mobile. It's not
you know what?
Easy,
Sometimes. Listen, JFK said we don't do it because it is easy. We do it because it is hard.
Damn, did you really say that?
What?
Like JFK?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because you know what? The best things in life are the ones you have to work for.
Oh.
No one ever wanted to hand me out.
That's pretty deep. Did he do music as well?
Did what?
JFK? Was he a rock star?
I don't think he was one of us.
Damn.
I don't. He kind of just scratches like his beard, which is super like scraggly.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying, Ian?
I think so. It's still a little bit much. I'm like just finishing high school. Also, I get like every day like a new like load of Funko Pops for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get that myself. How did he get into like a platinum credit card like that?
Dude, I tell you, he's insane. Like he's like Jim Carrey's mask.
I mean, everybody had that kind of effect. Even Golden Age was insane.
Yeah, but at least you guys had
Like, he wore this really ridiculous, like, Golden Age was like hats were his thing.
Damn.
I'm not lying. He stole hats.
Yeah, but you guys had
Like, entire hat shops would be on top of his head while he fought villains.
Yeah, but you guys had Bowie to teach you how to handle it. I don't.
Doesn't matter.
And I know that Golden Age is kind of like not believing in me as much as you do.
Golden Age doesn't not believe you. He believes in you because he believes in the music.
Okay.
Golden Age just doesn't... Poor Gold cried for like a week after Bowie like went.
Man. I mean, they were pretty good friends, right?
He was Bowie's like introduction.
Oh, man.
That was hard on the old man. And so he, God bless his heart, is just worried. He wants you to know the weight of the mantle, and you do know the weight of the mantle.
I'm
And you just
sure.
don't see him as much as me because he just likes his mansion a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice mansion. I would stay there too.
Right? So, it's just, he means the best for you.
Okay, I keep that in mind.
And like any hero should, he just wants to keep you, like, as safe as possible.
Okay, good to know. I'll keep it in mind.
And if he denies any of this, it's just because he has too much pride.
Oh, okay. I think I get it. I mean, he has the attitude.
Yeah. Which is
okay.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, how old is he by now? How many concerts did he have? I think he worked for it. Alright.
Accusation. I think like 100 at this point.
Yeah.
And he looks like, what, 70?
Yeah, he looks like double that.
What, 70?
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a mummy by now.
Ah, looks good for his age.
Yeah, I think so too. But all the drugs, you know what I mean.
And he goes, he never did anything like that.
So he just looks like that without it?
Kinda.
Oh man.
You might want to keep that opinion to yourself.
I keep don't worry. Sorry. I have to go. School is like my break is closing in a few minutes. But thanks for the words.
School's out for the summer, dude. It's June.
Oh. Yeah, but I not school. I mean like my band practice. Like my
Oh yeah, go, and he kind of
Alright.
like shuttles you out the door.
See ya, man. Thanks for the words.
Nah, anytime, bud. And he kind of just goes, man, was I that worried when I was... And we go back to kind of like, it's about 1 p.m. and you're done with your meeting with like you got through the briefing with Conquistador. And he's just kind of like scratching at his like face a tiny bit. Like the alien. Here he is, like this humongous kind of like weird rifle on his back. with also like kind of like these twin swords that he's like twin like humongous like daggers at his hip, and he's just kind of like just looking at you, and he just says, "So you've taken an action of which we usually would have given you. Mind you, you're going to be raised into the status."
He nods.
And usually this takes careful consideration by all of our members and by me before we basically do what you did. Which, by the way, was... I haven't seen something like that kind of execution, and... Well, since the last boss was around, I haven't seen that kind of stuff.
He nods and says, "Yeah, I don't particularly plan on making them that visible in the future. This is part of my plan to help achieve our group's objectives without having to, in a different manner."
And he kind of just nods his head as you say this to him, and he goes, "Well, in any case, now that you're one of the cloth, I welcome you as the current cardinal." And he kind of like his eyes, like he doesn't exactly have irises. They kind of just like have this, like they look like miniature galaxies, like in like those like dark kind of like purple orbs.
He kind of bows and says, "I'll do my best to bring honor to our faith."
And he kind of just nods and goes, "So there's a second question brought from you by the boss.
Yes.
He wants to know how your latest edition went. Well, the latest 2 editions went."
Well, Traveler seems to be an overall solid inclusion. It's going to take some time to adjust them to the current time, but I think once that is smoothed out, she will be a perfect, maybe even like second command in our current command structure. In terms of Bodkid, I think he thinks for a moment. He's like, I'd say let's give it one more mission. He seems to be having a hard time adjusting to our mission, so by the second one, he still is wavering. I think maybe he's not cut out for this, but if he can get through the second one, fine. Then I think he's worth telling.
Alright, honest, I like it. And he kind of just looks at you and kind of like looks at kind of like Bodkid's dossier, and he goes, "The kid's got potential, and with our resources, he can definitely maybe be able to hunt decent game." But whether he should is obviously the question that we have to ask.
Yes, I'm trying to make sure I'm certain of the answer when I give it to you.
We appreciate that, and he kind of just stares at you and goes, "Well, I know this ain't exactly ceremony, but we can't exactly be ceremonial when we're all across the planet. Just know that when things get really dark, you have a second family."
He smiles and says, "Thank you."
And he nods. And he goes, "Your last name. You got family?"
Not that I'm aware of. Have you heard someone else with my last name? I'd love to meet him.
I have no idea. Even if it was just, like... And he kind of just, once again, he's just kind of like... He just, like, has his hands on his lips and looks puzzled. Something, like, deaf in that girl. And he kind of just looks off, and he goes, "I'll get back to you on that."
Okay. He kind of looks confused and, like, hadn't noted his statement.
I gotta do some digging before I bring you on it.
Got it. And he's like, he's like trying to sound calm, but it's clear that this is exciting to him. He hasn't heard anything about his family.
And he kind of like sees you and goes, "I wouldn't. She's scary."
He kind of blinks and he's like, "If I'm honest, sir, most of the women I know are."
And he kind of like, "Okay, I can accede to that, but
I mean, she can't be Madam Nick's bad, right? It kind of pauses.
It's kind of like you look at something and how do I describe it? It's kind of like you see something similar, you jump at it."
He immediately groans. He's like, what? Okay, I'll brace myself for her to be like that then." He looks, he's still excited, but it's not as pure as it was before. Now it's like marked with the healthy dose of worry and fear.
And he just kind of like goes and goes, "I'm sorry if that's disappointing to you. It's just..."
No, it's good to know now than later.
"The girl survived being voided. And back again," and then he kind of just like shudders and goes, "Everything I threw at her. Well, everything that I could throw at her at that moment."
Kind of like, okay, when you have more information on them, we should resume this conversation. It sounds like she has quite a bit of power.
And he kind of just nods at that and goes, "Well, in any case, I will be eagerly waiting for your work." And he kind of just leaves, and then through them, he kind of like sees the businessman. Like you see, like Mr. Swainson, kind of just waiting by a table.
Hello.
And he goes, "Hi." So now is the time where I bring up what I wanted to tell you.
Good. I hoped my performance would give you confidence in our abilities.
It terrified me. I was first for a second I was ready to just cry out in like adulation and celebration, and then I remembered this is someone that I have to, be careful with.
I mean, yeah, as long as if you decide to be.
I get my situation. Trust me. I understand the message. It's been on the news. I was there. I heard the old man move from his seat just an inch, and heaven shook.
Because right now, the birds want you really bad, and I want them to go fuck themselves, so I'm not handing you over.
I am so glad that that spite has filled your decision rather than whatever lofty motives.
He just kind of nods. He's like, yeah, I try to be a good person, but I'm human.
I'm not going to get into that discussion. So, my proposition or my asking point, since I was bait for you and I helped you get out of the Soul of Tartarus for helping you get out of the Soul of Tartarus for helping you with your mission. My asking offer is, did they come to you?
Yeah, give me their shameless letter of challenge, tournaments, whatever.
Yeah, so what? Obviously, they're gonna do that, but what you and we need to work on is, and he kind of just snaps his fingers. He goes, "I need you to win, and then I need you to allow me to go back into the City of Birds."
Well, I mean, I planned on winning, but what does that second part entail?
Me hopefully becoming a visionary and then just enjoying the bird life.
I guess what I meant is,
Again,
why do you need me to do that? And
because you have enough. Because you, my friend, that you see yourself, you are like the golden ticket to to Victory Land, even if it comes with a couple of scars. Ain't hard to read about the calamity.
No, he thinks back. He's like, yeah, we leave a footprint. But what I'm asking is, what do I have to do to get you where you want to be?
I want you to beat them so bad that they cower and accede to any demands that you might have, and you just shove them on me like some old gift. They would hate to have me back. You would be adding punishment, salt into the wound by having me back, and I would be so grateful and so happy. Oh my god, I can't stand the rules of the road.
Well,
oh my god, I just want to fly again.
My stipulation for that is, of course, you don't need to be subservient to the gods, but no more playing in our space. At least I shouldn't have to come find you again after giving you this.
I'll give you that. Because 1,000 years is a long ass time to. I'll make sure that you won't have to come out. You won't have to even think of the word bird
It's like maybe
for as long as you are in your station.
he nods and says, "Then
The person who might come after you if your life should, however, expire, should know. Because we will probably be up in our shit again, and I might be dead, and there might be a new person. But I can't die, but I'll be, in a hole somewhere hiding, and then I will be a visionary.
that is fair. After all, I'm just yeah, you got a deal. I'll make sure to enlist you in one of the demands for their surrender."
Yes, and it's gonna be so delicious for you as you just see the horror on their faces as I come back into their arms again. Yes. Oh, you are truly a paragon amongst men.
He rolls his eyes and he says, "Actually, by the way, do you have a information gathering network of any kind?"
Nope, I'm an outcast. Whatever I have to find, I do it by myself.
All right then.
Because, get it?
Kind of like, yeah, a giant roll of the eyes. He's like, "Yeah, I get it." Ugh. I was gonna ask you to look into something, but don't worry about it.
Alright, bet. And he kind of just, shows out a couple dollars for probably your most expensive cup of coffee.
Yeah, I give him a damn good cup in response.
And he gratefully accepts it and leaves. And with that, I think we're going to close out the session and the arc.
Nice.
Hope you had fun, guys. End of session moves.
Oh boy. Well, my end of session is pretty obvious.
Grow closer?
Yeah, grow closer. Hey, Travel, what's up?
Yo.
You don't have influence over me. Take that in. Take that influence. At least I don't think you have influence over me.
I do not.
Yeah, take that influence.
I'm going to grow into my own image. I think it's not too surprising that this one will be mundane down and superior up.
That's about right.
In a variety of different circles.
I think I grew closer to the team. To Sam? Since that was pretty rocking fucking awesome. And now he also has a music instrument, so we are pretty much blood brothers at this point. And he uses thunder like me. Man, he's becoming like me.
Oh, it's not, I don't like how that ended. You were becoming me. It's like, man, that's where did it all go wrong? I'm like, my hand's like halfway towards breaking into a car. I'm like, no, it's gone too far.
Dude, at one point I will just lay beaten on the ground, and I just scream at you, "Sam, you have to take the guitar." And you're like, "No, I can't." And then I say, "No, Sam, you have rock and roll in your blood, you know it." And I throw the guitar at you, and you become Apollo / rock and roller.
Holy shit, my character would be so fucking busted.
That shit is real, man.
My third playbook shift into finally a fucking legacy character. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm becoming like a goddamn spider web of Potential and advancements.
But yeah, that's why I go closer to you.
We can shift.
Yep, we can shift.
Anything, or?
You can shift danger or superior unless you shift it down.
I'll say,
Oh, mundane also you can shift down because it's a -2.
maybe freaked out savior up. We all became more like inundated in a positive sense with the people.
Yeah, and I didn't blow anything important up besides the Rondola.
Like, just this is by far the cleanest mission has ever gone.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Cool.
Alright, I'd say you probably grew close to the team. Probably Bodkid just came to help and came for help and all that. Opened up a bit.
What question, Cam?
Yep.
Would everything I did be sufficient enough to have influence over Bruja now? I don't.
Yeah, I take it.
A while since I've added a new person to my influence list of like varying people that will never show up again. Like, still got verification of Just Forest and Joey and the Blinko thugs. I'm like, man, I'd really be shocked if I ever fucking see any of those people.
Will we see Joey again?
Yeah, maybe. Like, the Lizard Man, I don't know if we'll ever fucking see him again.
Well, the Blinko thugs are going to come back. I don't know who they are, but they sound like they're going to have the biggest comeback of the century.
Unless Doom is done. There's no way he's coming back. We fucking put him down twice now. He's bad.
No, he's coming
He's
back.
in super jail.
He's coming back.
He's in fact the final battle.
Eddie's gonna get a big weapon and he's gonna accidentally break the Blinko thugs out.
Well, I mean, it'd be fitting if like the next mission happened to be something very mundane.
Yeah, what's the next arc? I wonder.
Well, I have a couple of sessions in between the next arc, so we'll see that first.
Cool.
It's just the fuck Eddie arc. That's what it is. They're gonna like fight trans-dimensional aliens. It's actually just be the finale of Gurren Lagann.
I will drag you into every single fucking TV, the camera that I see.
Is it time to bring?
Don't do it. Don't do it to my son.
Is it
Don't.
time,
Don't do it.
time to
Yes.
bring in Puddles?
Oh man, I wish.
Don't bully my son like this. And by don't bully my son, I mean bully my son harder than that, please. You can do better.
You will be famous, you will love it. And if I kill you with it.
Still don't know how we'd fight an interdimensional ocean.
Don't worry, Eddie probably has something for it. Just find his blueprints. Try to go in his room without getting shot to death.
Alright, that was fun.